Hello, my friends. I am posting this one a little bit early. I am still going to do one for Friday, but I have been pondering this, or it's been coming to me all week, about how do we envision peace and how can we bring that about. And in these times, which really, I guess, in hindsight and looking through history, are not maybe different than other times. I don't know. I know for myself, I'm 68, and I know from my ancestors' experience in the world that I'm not sure we've ever had a time on the planet where there has been peace. So I'm not sure we know what that is. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know what it feels like. We may have some illusions of peace in small pockets and small communities. But that idea has been rolling around in my head like, wow, I'm not sure we even know what that is. We have illusions of it. And trust me, I grew up in the hippie generation, loved peace and rock and roll. And then the New Age group came in, and we were all about that. And then now we're in this time where there's so much, and maybe that's why it feels like it's so much, because we do have access to all this information. We know immediately what's happening on the other side of the world. It doesn't take weeks or months for us to get that information. So maybe that's why it feels intense. And, there's a group in this spiritual community that just, wants to live in love and light and not pay any attention to it, believe it's all an illusion, and that's fine if that works for them, go you. I just can't seem to be there. I think I'm both. I am here on this planet in this body, and yes, there's also a part of us that belongs to the universe, to the loving essence that created us, whatever that word is for you. Some call it God, some call it the divine creator, and many religions have tried to name God in different ways. So, and that's fine. Whatever works for you is fine. So I thought about two different ways that I see things are happening that we can contribute, because it's kind of like the idea of prayers. And there's been some study on prayers, there's been studies on Reiki, sending healing energy, and visualization, that there is a measurable difference that is made. There is a measurable difference, and maybe it doesn't have the instant gratification of boom, we all are in love and light and we love our brothers and sisters and we don't judge each other and we share, and we live in nirvana. So maybe we dismiss it, but they have done studies, and there's a group called Science and Non-Duality, or IONS, IONS, that study all kinds of phenomenon in the world, and including psychic, for those of you who are open to that, intuition. But there's a lot of places you can go and search for that and find that scientific basis for it. So I guess I'm jumping on here to say there's two different ways to participate, and maybe you do both. One is, I know there's a group through Pam Gregory's astrology, and they don't link in through Zoom or anything like that, but once a day. And it was noon here, but the time changed, and I don't think it changed there, so I'm not sure if it's 11 or 1. But within that sphere of time between 11 and 1, there's a suggestion to collectively, with your intention, join in to a meditation of bringing peace and harmony to planet Earth. And it's an individual practice through just being still and visualizing that. And I myself, I have a reminder on my phone for noon. And it's not always noon, but it's a reminder to check in, at least as close to noon as I can get. And in those visualizations, sometimes what I have seen or envisioned is like the world. And the last time that it was really, some days I'd get no visual. I'm just breathing and putting out the intention. And sometimes I get the visual. But the last time that I did it, got a really strong visual. I saw almost like a cloak of fibers, an etheric kind of blanket. And it was almost like joining in a grid around the earth. But I saw it just coming in and just kind of wrapping the earth in this etheric blanket of love and intention of peace and healing. And that was pretty amazing to have that experience. And, it's just trusting that it is landing in places and subtly maybe changing things for the better for our collective evolution to a higher consciousness, perhaps. The other idea is in meditation, and I have several of them of going to a safe place, and I like anchoring that in with our meditations. And I may do a separate video on that, just to help with that. But going into your own inner sanctum, which is within your mind, again, with your intention, going within, and within that inner sanctum, which is your safe and sacred place, where you get your divine messages from, that in that place, you can start envisioning, what does peace look like on planet Earth with humans? How does that manifest? What does that look like for you? And allow your creative imagination, your visualization to bring that forth in whatever ways. Lately, I've used this glimpse out of a series. It was called Andor. It's not a happy-go-lucky little show, just here to tell you. But it kind of reflects, interestingly enough, the times that we are living in some ways. But there was a scene in there where there was this planet where they grew wheat. And there was all these wheat fields or grain fields, I don't know, but it looked like wheat to me. And the community all had their separate little places where they would go and sleep and be. That was their private places, but they would come and have communal meals. And it was a really long table, and all these people were bustling around, and everybody kind of had their designated chores they were doing. Some were cooking, some were serving, some were cleaning up, some were preparing, the tables. Kids were running around playing, animals, pets, whatever, even robots, because it was a Star Wars kind of thing. So, but there's this moment where you see like people are just communing and loving each other and just being, so there's not this competition. There's not this idea of our ego sense of I'm right, you're wrong, judging how other people live, how they dress, who they love even. Oh my gosh, I just, it is about accepting, as long as there's no harm, there's no harm. And there's communal giving and sharing with whatever gifts you can, what is yours to give. And those that need extra help, there are helpers that are drawn to do that, right? They're drawn to help. So it's like, what do we think that looks like? What do we think peace on earth looks like? And it can change, and maybe it does change. And, I know that the pessimistic side of me sometimes can come in and go, what's the point? Why would we do this? It's never going to happen, yada, yada. It's never happened before, yada, yada. My brain gets blah, 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 blah. And maybe that's true. But what is the harm in doing it? Because what if? What if? Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next week. Maybe not even next year. Maybe not even our lifetimes. But what if all of this collective energy of promoting peace brings about peace on earth for humanity? What a gift would that be for our descendants, for our grandkids, our great grandkids, and our great 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 grandkids, and all the humans that come after us down the road. What if it could be? What if, and holding that. And I know those of you who know me know that I struggle with that myself, holding that. So I guess I'm coming on here to share and encourage us all to maybe attempt it, because why not? Feels better than staying in the dystopian part of things. And so maybe think about that. Maybe there's a group that you want to join at a certain time to meditate for peace on earth, for love to reign. And maybe, perhaps, it changes from within to without, And if we can be in that space more, perhaps that sends a ripple effect, and ripples have effects, just like as waves in the ocean. They can get large and calm down, large and calm down. Maybe we can be the little petal in the ocean. So if you want to, join in like a noontime intention to set for, 5-10 minutes. You don't have to do it even very long. It's not like you got to sit cross-legged and ohm your way into a bliss state. Just taking a little bit of time every day to go, okay, I'm going to, with my intentions and my prayers, my intention, my energy, to align with other people for the highest good of planet Earth. The highest good of planet Earth. That there may be peace, that there may be love, that there may be acceptance, that there may be a time where children are safe and grow to be their most glorious selves, that folks that have medical needs, that their medical needs are met, that those who have mobility issues have people around that help them interact and stay and connected with community. They're not homebound or isolated. That governments, should we still need this thing called governments, are actually working for the people and helping the people with infrastructure and universal medical care, just any of those things. Can we just imagine? Can we just imagine? And perhaps with bringing about that on Earth, we wind up eradicating, some of these really devastating diseases and challenges in the physical body. Not even with the intention of living forever, and maybe that's your vision too. I don't know. I'm not going to judge that. But I think it's worth it. It's worth it for our own health, maybe mental health, to say, 5-10 minutes a day, I'm going to join with all these other crazy people that have this crazy idea that maybe one day humanity can learn to live in peace and love and protect the children and allow the children to grow into the glorious selves that we have advancements that benefit humanity, not harm humanity. Yeah, and a healing to our medical community. Our medical community structure is in sore need of healing of its own in many, many ways. There's a division there between holistic and herbals and Western and gosh, I can't think of the words, but there's a split in that. Like they fight against each other and point fingers at each other instead of working along, integrative medicine. And I know I'm kind of going down rabbit holes, so if you're still with me, thank you for hanging in there. But I think there's just so much division in so many places that just keeps causing harm. It just keeps causing harm. And people that are choosing the medical profession because they truly care and want to help people get beaten down by the system in more ways than one than we can even ever imagine. So yeah, and maybe I'm coming on here because I've been struggling the last several days myself, okay. There was a little bit of roller coaster in Joe's life, with what I struggle with. But I thought I would come on here and offer you that because that is something I think we could be consistent with 5-10 minutes a day to say, you know what, I'm going to join in with my prayers, my intentions, my incense burning, my candle lighting, my whatever it is for you, to be in agreement with other people, that our collective prayers, intentions, meditations, our healing Reiki, healing energy out into the world can bring about some peace. 5-10 minutes a day. Anyway, I hope you'll think about joining in a group, find one in your area, or even just the noontime. And again, it's like that space between 11 and 1 for the global time. And yeah, I think there's some changes in my life and what I'm providing, and I think I might be starting to just open up to provide some guided imagery, hypnosis type sessions for people outside of just to get to know. Could be to know themselves. Sorry, I'm stumbling there. Whether that be, past life regression or dealing with grief, loss of somebody. Sometimes this guided imagery, I think that I help people through because it is their own personal journey, is very rewarding. And I think I am going to be providing that by donation only. I can provide that through Zoom or in person if you live in the area. So let me know what you think, and I will see you on the flip side. Tomorrow I will be putting up a guided imagery for everybody. Anyway, I love you guys, and let us find our peace, our sanctuary within, our peaceful place. And may we let that ripple out into the world around us and even further and further and further until it encompasses the whole earth. And also, just as an aside, I'm going to list some YouTube channels that have some amazing music. Some of it is more beneficial to listen with headphones or earbuds or whatever because it does a bilateral. But some of it is just peaceful meditation. There's a few channels out there that consistently have new and old stuff, and it's just music. Anyway, I find that I put them on during the day and I just let it run because I did sign up for YouTube. That way I don't have the commercials that pop up. Anyway, once again, I love you guys. Send you love. Ooh. And love from my heart. And may you have a peaceful day. I love you guys. Bye.